inside the Whitney's house. Chapter 3. 10:15 p.m. The house stood still under a heavy sky, wrapped in the low hum of distant thunder. Detective Archer stepped out of his car and eyed the grand, ivy-wrapped building. It looked peaceful, like nothing tragic had just occurred inside. But he knew better. He buttoned his coat against the wind, climbed the short stone steps, and rang the bell. The door opened almost instantly. Laur stood there, stiff and pale. His eyes flicked from Archer's badge to his face.
"Detective."
Archer nodded once. Without waiting for an invitation, Archer stepped inside. The warmth of the house hit him, but it did nothing to soften the tension in the air. The interior was dim, the lights low, curtains half drawn, expensive furniture, silence, heavy silence.
"Where is he?"
Archer asked, voice low but direct.
Laur hesitated. "In the dining room. We haven't moved him."
"Good."
He followed Laur down a hallway lined with old paintings and polished wood. The smell hit first, something sharp, metallic, underneath a hint of wine and roast. They entered the dining room. The man's body was still slumped over the table, face down in his plate. One arm hung limp at his side. No one had cleaned anything. The plates were still full, all except one. Archer took in the scene like a photographer framing a shot. Details first, feelings later. Only one plate was empty. He made a mental note about it and said nothing. He put on gloves and moved closer.
"He was poisoned,"
he muttered to himself. Then he turned to Laur.
"I want to question everyone."
Laur nodded and led him back to the sitting room, where family members lingered in stiff silence.
"Detective Archer will begin the questioning,"
Laur said, his voice formal. Silence. Archer scanned the faces, lingering on Laur.
"I'll start with you, Laur."
Laur flinched.
"Me? I'm the one who called you."
Standard procedure. Archer replied calmly.
"Is there a room we can use?"
Sheila spoke up from the corner, tone cool.
"You can use his office."
10:30 p.m. Inside the office, the dark wood and heavy furniture gave the room an oppressive feeling. Archer sat at the desk. Laur took the chair across, stiff as a board.
"It's a good house."
Archer noted.
"Not mine."
Laur muttered.
"You visit often?"
Laur hesitated.
"Only when I'm invited."
Paused, then added bitterly.
"Which isn't much. Birthdays, holidays, you know."
He begins to sweat. Archer raised an eyebrow.
Does that bother you?"
Laur looked away.
"Does it matter?"
"It might."
Laur exhaled sharply.
"We were having dinner. Everything was normal. Then he just collapsed, right into his plate. It happened so fast."
"What did you do next?"
Laur's jaw clenched.
"I lost it, snapped, yelled at Sheila. She hated him, always did.
"What makes you say that?"
She didn't care about him, only the money. They argued all the time. He used to tell me how fake she was, said she'd rather see him dead than deal with him."
Archer scribbled a note.
"Did she ever say that directly?"
Laur leaned forward, eyes dark.
"I once heard her say she wished he'd just disappear."
"Do you remember when that was?"
Laur nods.
"I think a year ago.
Who served the food?"
Maya, the woman who looks after him, the maid, Hazel, and the chef, Bruce, I think."
"And now?"
"Maya's outside. Maid and chef left, apparently."
"Was your brother on any medication?"
"Not that I know of. Maybe I saw Maya giving him a pill before dinner."
"His state of mind?"
"He was stressed. Said he had some business mess, something shady he wouldn't tell me about."
"What kind of work was he in?"
"He had a farm and a company, did a lot. Never told me everything."
"How were things between you two?"
Laur's face tensed.
We weren't close. He looked down on me. I run a small garage, and he...
Laur stopped himself, then scoffed.
Let's just say I wasn't the golden boy.
Did he ever help you financially?
Laur's expression tightened.
Does it matter?
Maybe.
Laur laughed, bitter.
He gave me a tie last birthday. Meanwhile, Sheila got diamond earrings.
Meanwhile, just outside the door, muffled voices could be heard. Low, tense. David turned to Rustin and murmured.
What the hell is taking so long?
Rustin didn't answer. He just stared at the closed door. Millie whispers to Clark coldly.
Are we gonna stay here all night?
Clark gave no answer. At the corner, Maya stood clasped her hands, eyes on the floor politely, back in the office.
Who benefits from his death?
Archer asks darkly. Laur sat up, anger flaring.
You think I did this?
I ask everyone the same thing.
Sheila gets it all. She was the wife, the house, the accounts, the company. I get nothing. You think I didn't know that?
Archer remained quiet, letting the tension simmer.
His relationship with his kids?
Laur's voice lowered.
He had favorites. Rustin, the eldest, could do no wrong. David always clashed with him. Harry, invisible. Lena was the only one he treated kindly.
And you?
I was the family ghost. They saw me on holidays, took photos, then forgot I existed.
Laur blinked like he didn't meant to say that.
But of course I loved him.
He says, gripping the chair. Archer nodded.
That'll be all for now.
Laur stood. As he turned, Archer caught sight of something, a gun tucked into his waistband. He didn't mention it. Not yet. Before Laur exits, he paused, then turned around.
When I called you, I thought you'll still treat me like a friend.
Archer cited.
I'm your friend, but I have to do my job.
No!
Laur snapped.
Friends don't look at each other's like they have blood on their hands. I called you to come, question Sheila, not me.
Archer cites.
It's procedure, Laur, and before you get defensive, you might try telling the truth.
Archer says his tone remains calm.
I didn't lie to you.
Then why are you sweating through your shirt, Laur?
A long silence. Laur's expression changed.
I'm leaving.
He stormed out. Archer stepped out into the hallway, scanning the room again. Then his eyes met Sheila's.
You're next,
he said. Sheila crossed her legs defiantly.
Excuse me.
Just a conversation.
Archer replied, already opening the office door. Laur muttered as he passed her.
Unless you're scared.
Sheila rolled her eyes and followed Archer in. 11:03 p.m. Millie leaned down on David and whispered with a smirk.
Just a question I've never asked you before. Is your uncle insane by any chance?
She says mockingly. David gives her a sharp look and keeps looking at the door nervously where his mother just got in.